Months after a teenager was shot during an armed robbery, the family of the victim is taking matters into its own hands. A top Bahamar executive weighs in on the postponement of the gaming bill debate in the House of Assembly as F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis suggests unrest within the PLP may be to blame for that postponement. And a look at how the Albany development is growing. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and your MB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. A frustrated father is seeking justice more than 2 months after gunmen shot his young niece and robbed his teenage son and 6 others. The dramatic incident unfolded in the wee hours of the morning after his son's car got a flat tire on Village Road on the way home from the bowling alley. The culprits pretended to lend assistance before preying on their unsuspecting victims. It's just one of hundreds of armed robberies reported this year. But unlike many of those cases that go cold, one victim's father says he will not rest until the robbers are behind bars. Vani Ktut reports.
On the morning of August 21st, 2 gunmen pretending to be Good Samaritans shot a 17-year-old girl and robbed 7 other teens after a flat tire left them stranded in this parking lot off Village Road. Now, nearly 3 months later, outraged family members say those responsible remain at large. They've now released a disturbing video of the incident in hopes that you will help police catch the culprits.
My son got a flat tire and pulled into the parking lot of a business that was serviced by multiple security cameras.
Camera 8 shows 2 vehicles parked in the lot at 2:20 a.m. as a group of teens attempt to change the flat tire on the car driven by Dr. Harold Munnings Jr.'s son. A white Honda Civic speeds past them on Village Road, but reappears about 50 seconds later. The occupants reportedly ask the teens if they need help. The driver then reverses as if he's leaving the parking lot, but then blocks the 2 vehicles in before one of the culprits jumps out of the car with a handgun. The gunman, who has a medium brown complexion and is sporting cornrows, baggy jeans, and a sweatshirt, is seen in the corner of the screen yanking one teen's chain from his neck. Then all of a sudden, a shadowy figure appears from the passenger side, approaches this Suzuki SUV occupied by 14 girls, and forces them to get out. A scuffle then ensues, and one of the victims manages to wrestle the handgun away from one of the gunmen. But perhaps the most dramatic image of all is that of shotgun pellets piercing the right leg of Munnings' niece as she runs away. The teen, seen here in a striped sweater and jeans, grabs her leg as she continues to run. But Munnings says what the cameras didn't capture was his niece collapsing in nearby bushes. He says the incident has traumatized the victims and their families.
She is recovering. She is going through physiotherapy, rehab. Of course, the emotional and mental scars remain. We've had the benefit of counseling with.
So why appeal for the public's help now? Though the armed robbery unit was enhanced as part of a new crime plan unveiled in early September, the frustrated father believes police have done all they can.
I'm coming forward because I understand that the police hands are full. And they have carried the matter as far as they can on their own.
The latest crime statistics released by the police force reveal that 566 armed robberies were reported to police between January 1st and July 11th of this year. The detection rate for armed robberies is unknown. However, unlike many of those cases, Munnings says he will not rest until this is solved.
They're still out there, and I'm sure they haven't stopped. They've hurt someone else, and they will continue to do so until they are caught. And who who will be next.
Munning says he will not rest until those responsible are brought to justice. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonik Toot.
Well, just minutes after the armed robbery and shooting occurred, a team of police officers arrived on the scene to conduct preliminary investigations. Munning says he provided authorities with a copy of the surveillance footage. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, told us that police have questioned suspects in connection with the incident. However, no charges were filed in this case. Investigations continue. With parliamentary debate on the gaming bill postponed and some government officials speaking out against perceived discrimination, one senior hotel executive is responding. Bahamar's Vice President of External Affairs, Robert Sands, explained the passage of the new gaming bill would not change discrimination in the country's present laws. He says the passage would only enhance the law for the benefit of the economy. Dana Smith reports.
Sands urged parliamentarians to see the wisdom in implementing the new gaming bill. He explained discriminatory elements already exist in present laws and should be dealt with separately.
The bill remains neutral. There is a discriminatory element in the existing bill. So not addressing the current bill will not change the status quo of the existing gaming law in this country. But what in fact it will do is create opportunities that are economic, that are employment sensitive, that are profitable sensitive. So it's a win-win situation.
Yesterday, Gaming Board Chairman Dr. Andre Rollins explained he does not support the discriminatory elements of the legislation. Other MPs have said the same. Sands explained that failure to pass the new gaming bill will not have any effect on Bahamians being allowed to legally engage in gambling or not, and neither would a successful passage. However, a successful passage of the bill, Sands said, would only benefit the country's tourism and gaming industry.
Not addressing it does not change the element of the discriminatory clause. I believe the government, in their wisdom, can address this particular element as a separate and distinct issue. But the passage of the gaming bill as it is currently written and presented before Parliament does not change, whether it passes or does not pass, does not eliminate the current discrimination element for Bahamians.
The passage of the bill will have a tremendous economic impact on the country, Sands said. Chief among the benefits of passage, he said, is the bill will guarantee employment sustainability and profitability at the country's existing businesses and hotels. The bill will also allow for the country's gaming industry to compete on a global scale. Sands explained this will boost the country's tourism industry and subsequently the economy. It would also have an impact on tax revenue. Sands said the government can address gaming discrimination as a separate issue, not related to the new bill.
This bill is not about anything foreign. This bill is all about modernizing an existing piece of legislation that would work towards the sustainability of the gaming industry here in the Bahamas. We must, and I cannot stress, we must separate the two issues. Modernization of the gaming bill is one issue. Dealing with the discriminatory clause within this existing bill is a separate issue. But to do nothing changes nothing. Both will still exist, and we will be worse off not passing the current piece of legislation.
Sands said despite the delay, he is hopeful for the swift passage of the new gaming bill. Reporting for MB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Well, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis also spoke out on the postponement. He suggested that the delay in the gaming bill debate could be related to internal unrest in the party. This comes after Gaming Board Chairman Dr. Andre Rollins said the country could not modernize gaming for foreigners while leaving Bahamians out.
This is evident that the Christie administration is not prepared. It's their bill, but they have unrest within their organization. That's what it appears to me, and therefore they cannot bring such a bill forth to debate because they don't know what each other will say. That's what it appears, but that's nothing new. They're always late.
Dr. Minnis says in his opinion the PLP seems to be a government full of prime ministers with members of that party sometimes contradicting each other.
they all do their own thing. The left hand don't know what the right hand is doing. It's not unusual that one minister would say something today and another one come hours later and say something different altogether. That has been their pattern, that has been their trend. So one has to wonder, what exactly do they talk about at cabinet? Are they all awake? Are they asleep? Why are they speaking differently when they come out?
Minnis also criticized the Christie administration for informing the FNM of the postponement only yesterday. He says the FNM is disappointed to have gotten such short notice, and although Minnis would not reveal which way his party intends to vote on the gaming bill, he says the opposition is prepared and looking forward to the reschedule of the debate. Well, since breaking ground back in 2008, Albany has invested in excess of $500 million. And unlike other developments in the country, it has managed to steadily build out the project throughout the economic downturn. And still, developers are showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon, with plans for further expansion to the luxurious property. That move is expected to generate up to 1,400 jobs for Bahamians. In tonight's Business Matters segment, Sieska Adderley gives you an inside look at the magic taking place behind the gates of this exclusive mixed-use development that's seeking to create new areas of excellence in tourism.
In the coming months, the multi-million-dollar Albany project located in southwestern New Providence will create several new areas of tourism, including financial, medical, sports, and education, as part of its $140 million expansion set for early next year.
The financial center, the wellness or medical center, the sports academy, again, these are the demands that the high-end clients and those with that kind of disposable income are looking for. People want somewhere to put their money. They want to know if there's any medical emergency that the country and by extension the island itself is able to respond to those needs. Persons are electing to become professional athletes. And again, the sports that people set out with intentions to maximize their potential are the areas of tennis, golf, baseball, basketball, and so again we are responding to that need.
McKinsey says the expansion plans are in direct response to the demands in the market that would appeal to its high-end clientele and has taken the view to add significant value to the country's tourism industry. One of the key features to the multifaceted expansion is the construction of a 9-story financial center that will be housed in its Marina residence complex.
Our principal shareholder is involved in the financial services arena, a major player for that matter. And so by virtue of the clients, institutions tend to follow where the clients are, or clients demand that if you want to continue with my business, I am moving here. So of course the best of the best would be following their clients. I'm sure big names or renowned names in the financial services will no doubt be drawn to the possibility of housing a small office.
In addition to the financial center, Albany will construct the Albany Medical Center and the Sports Education Center. Though its expansion has been approved in principle, a supplemental heads of agreement is expected to be signed between Albany and the government soon.
We have submitted drawings to be approved by the Ministry of Works, and so as those approvals are released, then we move more to putting shovel in the ground. As the approvals come out and we square away and fulfill our obligations with government, buildings will pop up out of the ground.
Once developers are given the green light for the expansion, 260,000 square feet will be added to the marina at Albany, along with the financial center in the first quarter of 2014. The Health and Wellness Center would start in the second half of 2014, and the Sports Center and related events would be in 2015. McKinsey estimates the $140 million expansion could easily generate up to 1,400 jobs for Bahamians. At the peak of construction, between 900 and 1,000 jobs will be created. This figure is in addition to the more than 600 employees currently involved in construction at the southwestern New Providence property. For Business Matters, I'm Sieska Adderley.